The celestial void is a mirror that never lies. We thought we had conquered the stars, but we forgot that we carried our shadows with us. On the edge of the galactic rim, we discovered the guilt engine. It is not a fortress or a traditional weapon. It is a sentient, multidimensional processing unit that feeds on the moral weight of a species. It is a machine god of regret. When the engine activates, it doesn't fire lasers. It reaches into the deepest recesses of your subconscious and pulls out every life you have ever taken, every friend you let die, and every victim of your cold tactical choices. It gives them form. It gives them a blade. And then it sends them to collect the debt. A standard army cannot fight the guilt engine. How can a soldier shoot the daughter he couldn't save from a burning building? How can a pilot fire on the wingman he abandoned in a dogfight? The moment the specters appear, the soldiers break. They weep, they beg for forgiveness, and they let the ghosts of their past tear their throats out. Entire battle groups have been found drifting in space, their ships untouched, but the crews slaughtered by phantoms that vanished the moment the last heart stopped beating. To fight the weight of the past, the Federation created the first Reconcile Battalion, the Absolution-Squad. We are not just soldiers. We are monks of the battlefield. We have spent years in psychological conditioning, learning the art of total, radical acceptance. We do not hide from our sins. We do not bury our regrets. We wear them on our sleeves. Our armor is a pristine, matte white ceramic, designed to reflect the light of a clear conscience. Our primary weapons are mercy cannons. These are psionic amplifiers that convert a state of inner peace and forgiveness into a focused beam of high-intensity white light. It does not destroy the specters, it releases them. It dissolves the psychic bond between the living and the dead, sending the echoes back into the void. I am Commander Silas Vane. I have killed 3,000 enemies in my career. I have lost 200 men under my command. And today I am going to walk through their shadows and pull the plug on the engine. The drop into the Sorrow Nexus was a descent into a gray, ash-choked nightmare. The sky was a swirling vortex of weeping white light. The ground was not dirt or stone, but a shifting carpet of spent shell casings and tattered banners. As my boots hit the ground, the air began to hum with a discordant, mournful frequency. The guilt engine loomed in the distance, a mountain of rusted gears and reaching hands, pulsing with the rhythm of a heavy heart. "Stay calm," I said into the comms. My voice was steady, a product of years of breathing exercises and meditation. Remember the mantra. The past is a river. You cannot hold the water. Let it flow. Unit 2 Marcus, copy. I see my ghosts already, Cap. They look so real. Unit 3 Sarah, copy. Engaging the first wave. My mercy cannon is at full charge. The specters began to crawl out of the ash. They didn't appear all at once. They manifested as shimmering blue-white silhouettes. I saw them. I saw Corporal Miller, the man I sent on a suicide mission to save a bridge 10 years ago. I saw the faces of the rebels I had ordered to be executed in the jungles of Krios. I saw the civilian families caught in the crossfire of my orbital strikes. Thousands of them. Their eyes were hollow, filled with a silent, crushing accusation. They didn't scream. They just walked toward me, their spectral hands reaching for my neck. "Contact," I said, raising my mercy cannon. I didn't feel fear. I didn't feel the urge to run. I looked Miller in the eyes and I acknowledged him. I acknowledged the choice I made. I accepted the weight of his death. I didn't fight the guilt, I embraced it. I pulled the trigger. A massive beam of solid white light erupted from the cannon. It hit the wave of specters with the force of a tidal wave. Where the light touched the blue ghosts, they didn't explode. They simply softened. Their accusatory expressions turned to peace, and then they dissolved into a million glowing embers that drifted away on the wind. "Keep moving," I ordered. "Do not linger. Do not engage in dialogue. Acceptance is a weapon, not a conversation." We pushed through the ash fields toward the engine. The resistance was immense. The guilt engine was sensing our resolve and was digging deeper, pulling out the memories we had tried to bury in the furthest corners of our minds. The air became thick with the smell of gunpowder and old blood. The sounds of 1,000 forgotten battles echoed in the sky. Marcus stumbled. A specter of his younger brother, who had died in a training accident Marcus felt responsible for, had grabbed his arm. The blue ghost was weeping, asking Marcus why he hadn't stayed behind. "Marcus, look at him." I barked. "Accept the truth. You couldn't change it. Let him go." Marcus groaned, his armor flickering as the guilt began to drain his psionic shields. He stood his ground, looked at the specter, and whispered a word of forgiveness to himself. His mercy cannon flared, a brilliant white light consuming the ghost and clearing the path. We reached the base of the guilt engine. The scale of the machine was terrifying. It wasn't just metal, it was made of the collective sorrow of an entire sector. Massive pistons moved with the sound of sobbing. Cooling vents exhaled the cold air of a graveyard. At the center of the machine sat the heart of penance, a massive, exposed core of white-hot guilt. The engine sensed our proximity and unleashed its final defense. It didn't send soldiers. It sent the mass of the unforgiven. A colossal, shifting mountain of blue specters fused together, a screaming, multi-limbed monstrosity made of every person we had ever failed. It was 50 feet tall, a wall of pure regret that blocked our path to the core. "This is the big one," Sarah yelled, her cannon hissing as it struggled to maintain focus. "It is too much weight. I can't find the light." "Close your eyes, Sarah," I commanded. "Don't look at the shapes. Look at the truth. We are the sum of our mistakes, but we are not defined by them. Focus on the release." We formed a triangle, our backs to each other. We channeled our collective acceptance into a single point. We thought of every person we had lost, every mistake we had made, and we offered them all up to the void. We didn't resist the shame. We welcomed it. The mercy cannons began to vibrate, the white light turning so intense it was blinding even through our visors. The three beams merged into a single, colossal lance of purifying energy. We fired. The lance of light struck the mass of the unforgiven dead center. The creature didn't shriek. It let out a long, collective sigh of relief that shook the very foundation of the nexus. The mountain of blue ghosts began to unravel. The light tore through the layers of regret, dissolving the specters by the thousands. In seconds, the 50-foot monstrosity was gone, replaced by a beautiful, shimmering snowfall of white light. The path to the heart was open. I ran toward the heart of penance. The closer I got, the more the engine tried to crush my mind. It showed me my own death. It showed me a future where I was the last man on Earth, haunted by everyone I had ever known. I didn't stop. I reached the core and jammed my mercy cannon directly into the white-hot center. "I don't need to be forgiven by you," I whispered to the machine. "I have already forgiven myself." I dumped the entire remaining charge of my cannon into the core. The explosion was a silent supernova of absolute white. The guilt engine didn't shatter, it simply lost its purpose. Without our resistance to feed on, it had no power. The rusted iron turned to dust. The weeping light was replaced by the warm glow of a summer sun. The reaching hands fell away, dissolving into the air. The sorrow nexus began to vanish. The ash fields, the shell casings, the mournful sky, all of it faded away like a bad dream upon waking. I fell to my knees as the floor became solid, cold metal again. We were back on the deck of the Federation vessel we had boarded to reach the engine. The machine was gone. The sector was clear. I looked at my squad. They were battered, their white armor scorched and dented, but their eyes were clear. The heavy weight that had sat on my chest for 20 years was gone. I felt light. I felt empty in the best possible way. "Sound off," I rasped. "Unit 2, clear." "I feel okay, Cap. Unit 3, clear." "The ghosts are gone." We stood up and looked out the viewport. The stars were shining with a brilliant, unfiltered light. There was no shadow in the dark. No echoes in the void. Humanity had proven a terrifying truth in the celestial void. We are haunted by what we do. We are hunted by our past. But we are also the only ones who can grant ourselves mercy. The guilt engine tried to make us slaves to our regret, but we turned our regret into the very fuel that destroyed it. We are the Absolution-Squad. We carry the dead with us, but we do not let them hold us back. The engine is dust. The debt is paid. We are walking into the future with a clean slate. The mission is over. We are going home to sleep a sleep without ghosts.